Thank you for listening to The Bows Knows, a podcast about QI Roberts Junior Senior High School in Putnam County, Florida. I'm your host, Mr. Bowes, and today we'll be talking to some special guests from our band program. Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. Why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hello, I'm Angel Semide, the assistant drum major and percussion captain.
And I am Tamira Hill, and I'm just a part of the general band ensemble.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining me. So start out with a couple of our intro questions. What's your favorite subject or topic in school and why?
So personally, I really like ACE music. One, because I'm the only person in that class, so it's really chill out. It's really chill. And, I hope to be a composer when I grow up and become an adult. That's the career I hope to achieve. So it's just subject matter that I'm interested in.
For me, I like math. I've always been kind of a math kid. Reading never stuck with me. And I guess when I grow up, but it's more like a couple of years, I want to be a math teacher for primary students.
That's awesome. So what is your favorite QI story or tradition?
Oh, for me, that would have... I don't even know. I think that would have to be the spirit stick. I don't really know where it came from or how it came to be, but just seeing that stick literally at every thing we do, it's really funny to me.
And for listeners who don't understand, it is literally a stick that has been decorated over the years.
It just has some ribbon and a little pink bow on it.
Personally, I really like the senior prank days. Those are always really fun. You get to see what silly stuff the seniors do to the different classes or out in the courtyard. And I'm a senior this year, so it'll be really fun to see what our class comes up with this year.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be better than previous years because we're throwing out the forks in the ground. I'm so tired of that. I'm sorry. No more forks.
All right, we'll look forward to that senior prank day this year. Next question is, if you could have coffee with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Personally, besides my girlfriend, who's the most important person to me, I would have to go with Hans Zimmer. He's a really renowned composer. He's done really famous works like Pirates of the Caribbean and Transformers and movies like that. So it would be really interesting to meet him, talk to him, and see what the experience is like being a famous and successful composer, which is what I hope to be.
Bought you some time.
He did, and I'm still lost. I guess. Fine. Let's be stupid. George Washington. I just want to know, what old people were like just old back in the day.
All right.
And I want him to be baffled when he sees me. And be like, "Oh, why is this talking to me?" But something.
Alrighty, so last of our intro questions. Quality, integrity, respect, which one and why?
I guess... Oh, go ahead. Go.
Okay, yeah, personally, I would go with respect just because I feel like the other two traits don't mean much, or they won't get you very far if people don't like you or if you're not respectful to both others and yourself.
Right, like what Angel said, I would go with respect because it goes both ways. You can give respect and receive respect. If you don't give, you don't receive. That's that.
Wonderful. So now we're going to get into talking specifically about the band program. So tell us a little bit about the program.
I feel like Angel was more qualified for that because I just joined, marching band this year, and I joined beginning band the middle of last year. My brother, Traven, he convinced me to do marching. And I was like, it's really late. If I want to do it, I got to start now, I guess. And that was last year. And here I am. And it is a lot of work. I mean, you got to put your all into it. And it's definitely a sport. Definitely lost some weight, probably 10, 20 pounds, just being out in the heat. And I'm like, it's a lot. You gotta be mentally, physically prepared for all of it.
Well, I think that brings up an interesting point about band is that you don't have to do it all 6 years. You can join later in your your high school career. So, Angel, do you have anything to add about what is band?
Yeah, so like Tamira briefly mentioned, it's split up into a beginning band and then a higher level band. So if you have no musical experience or very minimal music experience, you'll start with beginning band, where you learn your instrument, you learn the very basics, and once you're done with that, you graduate into the higher level band, which from the August to November season is marching band. We're in the middle of that right now. And then after that, we switch to concert band, which is just sit down and perform music.
I'm ready for that one. I'm really excited for a concert band season. Even though I've never been in it, but it's, I don't know, just the idea just excites me, you know?
So why did the two of you choose to join band?
So I joined right at the start of my 7th grade year. And for me, I guess like most kids, it was just kind of a iffy decision. Is kind of aligned with my interests. I was kind of picking up piano at the time, and I had been in a drum line. But as I've gone along, I've become really passionate about it. It's really grown into a family, and I feel like I'm dedicated to this now. But at first, it really wasn't that strong of a decision. But I'm really interested in the music performance aspect of it now.
This actually starts before QI Roberts. At CeeLo, I was actually a chorus kid, so I got some of the fundamentals, excuse me, of music in general in 6th grade, but it never really stuck with me. Like I said before, my brother, he really convinced me, because he would be in his room practicing, and I would just be like, "What you doing?" And I was like, "I'm practicing. Can you get out, please?" And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I decided, if I'm gonna do it, better do it now rather than later, because once you get past the high school, I guess, going into college with no music experience, that's gonna be a lot harder to actually be involved in some of the sports and things that the college band does whenever you don't have that experience in high school. So I decided, why not now?
Okay. So why should students want to take band? Kind of talked about why the two of you decided to join, but why should others?
So speaking from the experience I have now, obviously probably the biggest part of band is learning an instrument and growing your musicianship. But there's so much more to it than just that aspect of it. Like personally, as assistant drum major, there's a lot of opportunity to build your leadership skills, your social skills, your teamwork building skills, and from a literal aspect of it, musicianship looks really good on a college resume or a job resume. So there's a lot of different skills and applications to band besides just musicianship.
Yeah, like what Angel said, having that experience, in just knowing what to do whenever you're around music or anywhere in that sense. Say you want to be a singer, well, if you go into band, say, and learn some of the general fundamentals for it, and you understand the basics whenever you go how do I say this, professionally, I guess. Whenever you go in professionally, you're there and you know what you have to do. But again, it can just be just for fun. It doesn't have to be, I need to do this for my entire life. You're just doing it for fun. It's a hobby on the side.
Awesome. And I think that's important for our listeners to know, is that you don't have to have aspirations to be a music composer to have fun and enjoy band. Mm-hmm. I was in band 6 years of school, and here I am not in band anymore. Here I am hosting a podcast. So this is a school podcast, so it does have to be school appropriate, the answer to this question. But what is your favorite or most memorable story about band?
Okay, okay, so Mr. Dew, the band director, he is quite the character, and I will never forget this one time I was sitting out in one of my brother's practices, and everybody started ganging up on Dew. It was like, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's like, And then someone, I forget who it was, said, you know what he should do? He should run a lap. Dude makes us run laps for any little thing. You forgot your gloves. Okay, 5 laps. That's for, I guess, each finger. Well, I guess he was making the band students particularly angry this time. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll go run the lap. And he got down from his little pedestal, and oh my God, it took everything in his body to just run that lap. He was huffing and puffing. It's like, yeah, now you know how it feels whenever you make us run laps. I was like, oh, I'll remember that from now on. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's the people and the characters in the band that really make it a special experience and make it feel like a family. Like all the field trips we take, those are always really fun. I particularly like meeting new people. Like when we go on competitions and performances, we get to meet people from all around Florida and Georgia in one specific case. It was so I'd say just in general, meeting new people and interacting within the band, makes band really fun and memorable.
Awesome. So last question, one of the last questions I have for you is, if a student listens to this and they're like, you know what, band sounds fun, who can they reach out to for more information?
Go straight to the horse himself. Go to Mr. Dill. He'd be like, yeah, come on, join it. He'll be like the most excited puppy on the earth. Because whenever I went to him, because he would see me after my brother's practices, and I went up to him and he was like, I was thinking about joining band. It's like, yeah, come on, go ahead and do it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put you on the schedule now. And he would have me just sit in the room before they actually put me in the class. And I was like, yeah, thanks. So he was really the one that convinced me to actually be in band this year.
Yeah, so if you're interested in joining, like she said, you can go straight to Mr. Do. He'll be, open arms. He'll let you observe what the band's doing. He'll give you a feel for it.
Awesome. So kind of going off my script here a little bit. Listeners, as we're recording this podcast, we are anxiously awaiting what happens with Hurricane Ian. But I do believe the band has some marching band competitions almost every Saturday coming up here in the month of October. So tell us a little bit about the marching band competitions.
Yeah, so I've been here since 7th grade, so I've been doing this for almost 5 years now, and in terms of marching bands, and every single time you go into a competition, it's really nerve-wracking because you have lots of people looking down at you as you're on the football field ready to march and perform. And every single time, the entire band is just ecstatic once we're done, because it's a really fun experience to be out there and perform music that we know and see the playback and, see the show that we've marched and all the hard work that we've done over the past few months. So it's definitely a nerve-wracking experience at first, but it's always really fun, coming back and meeting new people, especially watching other bands. That's also really fun to review our peers on that kind of basis. So the marching band aspect of it is really fun, and you definitely earn what you put in.
That's great. So if one of our listeners wants to go watch you guys perform, should they check out the band's Facebook page, or where can they find out what your competition schedule is and what times you compete and everything?
Literally any of the band students. I know I have the schedule and the website where you can go buy tickets. So any of the band students, Mr. Do.
So just look for the tired kids holding music or instrument cases?
Pretty much.
Right. And it's also on different social medias like Facebook and...
I think it shouldn't be on the school page as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So listeners, there you go. You can check out their competitions. We're not sure whether they're going to compete as we're recording this weekend. So that would be the 1st of October. But they do have most of the other Saturdays in October that they're competing. So keep an eye out for that. So the last question I have for you before I let you go is, what media recommendations do you have for our listeners? Books, podcasts, TV shows, YouTube channels?
A good TV show, this is an adult TV show, so only watch it if you're, I guess, that mature. But BoJack Horseman, that's one of my favorite TV shows. It's really, really strong. It's unpredictable. It's an animated adult cartoon, but It's a very good show. It's very deep meanings to it. It's crude at first, but once you get into it, it's real deep and real nice.
I mean, I guess I'm your classic band nerd, band geek kind of guy, so I'm into the really nerdy things or geeky things like Star Wars, Avengers, that kind of thing. Those can all be found on Disney Plus, TV shows, movies, all of that. So I would really recommend any kind of streaming service like that where you can, just sit down and binge for hours on end. It's that kind of thing.
All right, some great recommendations there. Thank you both for being here. Listeners, if you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can catch future episodes, and be sure to give QI Roberts Student Government a follow on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on future episodes and happenings around QI. If you feel we've earned it, please rate and review us on your podcast player of choice and share with a friend. Thank you, Knights, and remember, excellence in all endeavors.